You know how everyone tells you to get a job that's exciting and one that you're passionate about, and they tell you to follow your dreams? Well, the truth is, most of the time when you try to do that, you're gonna end up broke. And at the end of the day, somebody's gotta be the garbage man because that's what's good for society. And to be honest with you, the highest paying online jobs in 2026, most of them are boring. And they're so boring that nobody even talks about them. And that's exactly why they're always hiring. So in this video, I'm gonna be talking about 9 boring but easy online jobs that are quietly paying people 6 figures. And every single job on this list pays 6 figures at the top end. Every single one of them is fully remote, and most of them have very little to zero competition because nobody actually wants to do them, which is the whole point. Things that people are super passionate about usually have massive amounts of competition, and so very few people are able to actually make a living doing them. But things that are super boring don't have that much competition, and it's way easier to land the job. Plus, they're typically higher paying as well. And this is coming from someone who's personally helped my 50-year-old technologically challenged brother make money online from absolute scratch. This is also coming from someone who helped a 59-year-old named Brian land a fully remote digital marketing job, and someone who runs a 1.5 million subscriber YouTube channel where over the years, my business partners and I have literally helped over 1,000 people land jobs. And these are 1,000 verified testimonials. We've actually helped way more than that. So I know what I'm talking about. And when I tell you this, the jobs nobody wants to talk about are the ones quietly making everyone rich. And number 1 is the most overlooked job on this entire list, and it's recession proof in a way that almost no other job is. So you're gonna wanna stick around for that one. Now, if you appreciate me making this type of content and you want me to make more of it in the future, let me know by gently tapping that like button. And let's jump into it right now. Now, quick thing before we get into the list, I want you to see this with your own eyes, right? These aren't numbers that I made up. These are the actual pay ranges pulled from Glassdoor, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, etc. Right? So I'm just gonna have them all up on the screen, and then I'm just gonna say a range for the job based on the averages. Because every time I make one of these videos, the comments fill up with, this is fake, or no way these jobs pay that much. So I want you to see the receipts before I tell you what they are. Additionally, this is the data that's reported online, and there is absolutely no guarantee that you can land these jobs, and there's also no guarantee that these jobs are gonna pay the exact amount that's reported online. We do our absolute best to use all the best resources and give you all the best information, but at the end of the day, your results are up to you. And it's also possible that none of these jobs might be a good fit for you. So always do your own research. With that being said, let's talk about the online probate specialist, which is number 1. And I'll be honest with you, this one is pretty heavy because we're literally gonna be talking about death. Now, my grandma just actually passed away recently, so this one has been very top of mind for me lately. And here's the thing. When somebody passes away, what happens next is something called probate. It's basically the legal process of dealing with that person's stuff, their will, their assets, their house, their debts, all of it. And it is a massive headache for the family. And trust me, people in my family have had a lot of deaths over the last 5 years or so. So I've been living through this and I've seen this firsthand myself. Now, a probate specialist is the person who helps families navigate that nightmare remotely. You handle the paperwork, you file with the court, you make sure the will gets executed properly, you communicate with the family, and you do all of it from your laptop. So you are the bridge between a grieving family and the legal system, which is one of the most valuable bridges that anyone can build. Now, you might be thinking, Shane, this is kind of dark. Is this really a job that people want? And here's my answer to that. Yes, because where there are problems, there is value. And in this industry, there are a lot of problems waiting to be solved. And the people solving them are getting paid very well to do it. Now, here's the macroeconomic thing that nobody talks about. There's something called the Great Wealth Transfer happening right now. And roughly $84 trillion is going to be transferred from the boomer generation to younger generations over the next 20 years. And that is the largest wealth transfer in human history. And every single one of those transfers needs paperwork. Every single one needs a specialist, and most boomers don't have full estate plans, which means probate work is about to explode. And by the way, here's a wild thing about the death and money industries. When one industry gets saturated, another pops up right next to it. And most people never used to spend money on memorial services for their pets, but now there's an entire industry of remote pet death care coordinators making $45,000 to $85,000 a year because pet parents are spending more on cremation, memorials, and grief packages than ever before. So death adapts, and the work always exists. And that is not a depressing thing to say, that's just the math. So base pay for probate specialists starts around $55,000, and the top end pushes past $110,000 a year. And sometimes more if you work with high net worth families or you specialize in complex estates.
All right, guys, quick break. This video is sponsored by me. I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be doing a live training this week where I'm going to be revealing the YouTube content advantage in 2026. It is a completely free training, no strings attached. In fact, I'm giving away even more bonuses at the training. Just as an example, I'm going to be giving away my niche validator. And this is going to be available for both Claude as well as ChatGPT, which is a super valuable piece of software where you can finally figure out what the best niche for you is. So do not miss out on this training. Make sure you sign up for it down in the description and the pinned comment below, because you only get it if you join the training. So if you don't join now, you might miss it. But that being said, in the workshop, you'll get to meet me. You'll get to ask me questions directly. So I look forward to meeting you. So click the link in the description and the pinned comment below. Make sure you put it on your calendar. And if for whatever reason you missed out on it, you weren't able to attend, make sure you still click that link, because we might be having workshops in the future as well, and you'll be the first to know about it. So yeah, hope to see you there. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Now, the skills that you actually need, well, you need empathy. This is probably the biggest one. You need attention to detail, basic legal knowledge, and the ability to communicate clearly with grieving families. Oh, and you also need really thick skin, because this is a tough one for sure. But the way you'd start here is you'd get certified through a probate paralegal certificate program. NALA, or the National Association of Legal Associates, is the most respected, and the cert runs around $1,500. This isn't necessary everywhere, but it is a really good way to get started. Make sure you look up how to get started in your own area though. Then you want to apply to estate planning law firms. Most of them are now hiring remote, and you can also work directly with families through legal service platforms like LegalZoom and Rocket Lawyer. And here's why this one matters more than just the money. You're providing actual value to people in one of the worst moments of their lives, and you're making something painful easier. And that is a real thing that matters, and the world needs more of it. So the opportunity score here, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. There is massive macroeconomic tailwind, low competition, real human value, and it is boring. So a lot of people don't want to do it, and so it's easier to get into. All right, section 2 is an AI compliance analyst. And here's the wildest thing about this one. This job did not exist 2 years ago, and that is how fast the AI economy is creating brand new six-figure jobs, and how few people are paying attention. So what is this exactly? Well, it's basically where you're the human safety net for AI, and your job is to make sure that the companies using AI tools, and that's almost every company at this point, aren't breaking any laws. So you're checking that their AI systems comply with the EU AI Act, with the US state level AI privacy laws, with healthcare AI rules, with employment AI rules. There's a whole alphabet soup of regulations being passed right now, and somebody has to make sure that companies don't get sued for $50 million. And companies are desperate for these people right now because there's literally not enough humans qualified to do the work. So the EU AI Act just kicked in. States are passing new AI laws every single quarter. Healthcare regulators are scrambling, and nobody knows what they're doing, which is exactly why this job pays what it pays. So the salary range here is $80,000 to $160,000 a year, and it scales fast because every company is fighting for the same small pool of qualified people. And here's the best part. You do not need a computer science degree. You don't need to know how to code. You just need to be the type of person who can read a policy document, understand it, apply it, and explain it to a non-technical executive. That's literally it. Now you might be thinking, Shane, isn't AI going to take this job too? No. The whole point of this job is that a human has to oversee the AI. You literally cannot outsource accountability to an algorithm. So this whole field exists because you need a human. Now here's how to start as an AI compliance analyst. Get the IAPP AI Governance Professional certification. This runs about $700. If you got a background in legal, compliance, risk management, or HR, you have a huge head start. But if you don't, that's totally fine. You don't have to get the certification as well, but it is going to help you stand out. But there are a lot of self-taught compliance people in this space because the field is brand new. So apply to mid-sized to large companies, especially in healthcare, finance, and tech. And if you get your foot in the door with this, you are always going to have a job. Opportunity score here, 10 out of 10. Brand new field, high pay, almost zero competition for jobs. It's also in the government and regulation space, which means your job's probably super safe. And yeah, just really good. All right, next one is GRC Cybersecurity Compliance Specialist. So job number 3 is a GRC specialist. So GRC stands for Governance, Risk, and Compliance. And this one is huge because I have an actual client who does this job, and she also stacked a YouTube channel on top of it that's making her an absurd amount of money. And we'll get to her in a second. So what does GRC specialist actually do? Well, you help companies meet cybersecurity compliance standards. So this stuff, I'll put it up on the screen, right? Every company that sells to the enterprise, meaning every big company, needs someone on staff making sure that they're hitting those standards. Otherwise, they can't even close deals with other big companies. And here's the thing. nothing. It is pure paperwork and checklist work. No coding, no hacking, none of that cybersecurity hacker in a hoodie nonsense that you see in the movies. The work is so boring that nobody wants to do it, which is exactly why it pays so much. Now, yes, there is some cybersecurity knowledge, but you don't need to be some kind of expert hacker, right? Some kind of ridiculous coder. And the salary range is 80 to 150,000 a year. Some senior GRC people push past 180,000, especially in fintech and healthcare. Now, here's where this gets really interesting. I have a client named Nicole, and she runs a YouTube channel called GRC for Mere Mortals. And she started working with me when she had about 85 subscribers, and now she has over 60,000. And you know what she was able to make in a single month doing this? $80,000 per month, not per year, per month, right? She made 80,000 in a single month. How? She took the boring six-figure compliance job, and then she stacked a YouTube channel about that same field on top of it. So the job was the floor, the YouTube channel was the ceiling, and the ceiling is basically infinite. And that is the real cheat code in this entire video. And by the way, this isn't just for tech-savvy 25-year-olds either. I have another client named Brian. He was 59 years old, and he came to us, and we helped him land a remote digital marketing job through our program, right? 59 years old, full career pivot, fully remote, real money. So age is not the barrier that you think it is. It's literally just an excuse that most people use to not even try. So here's how to get started with this one. Gold standard certificate is the CompTIA Security Plus. That's around $370 for the exam, but the ISC2 certified in cybersecurity is currently free through their pilot program, and that's good as well. Then you look for an entry-level GRC analyst role on LinkedIn, Indeed, and Welcome to the Jungle. There are also GRC-focused boot camps running 8 to 12 weeks that can fast track you into the field if you want a structured path. Nicole, for instance, actually runs one of those, so you can check hers out if you'd like. And the opportunity score here is 10 out of 10, right? Massive demand, no super fancy coding required, clear path to six figures, and it's one of the easiest jobs to stack a YouTube channel on top of, but I will warn you, it is deadly boring. All right, next one is the AI prompt engineer. And this one has one of the highest ceilings of any job on this list, and it tops out around $180,000 a year on the top end, but you can actually make a lot more than that. So what is it? Well, you write the inputs that get AI systems to produce useful outputs for businesses. Sounds simple, but it's not as simple as it sounds. But it is a hell of a lot simpler than learning to code from scratch. So you are essentially a translator between human business needs and AI systems. And companies are paying a lot of money for people who can take an AI tool like Claude or ChatGPT and turn it into a workflow that saves the business millions of dollars a year. So think automating customer service, right? Automating contract review, automating data analysis. The people who can design those workflows are getting paid like software engineers, except they don't have to know how to code. And the salary range here is $70,000 to $180,000 a year. And top performers at AI labs like Anthropic, OpenAI, and Scale AI are pushing past $200,000. And that's just the base salary. Equity at those companies can be life-changing. So you don't need a college degree for this, and I'm dead serious. You do need to be the type of person who can experiment, think systematically, write clearly, and learn fast. So here's how to start as an AI prompt engineer. Take Anthropic's free prompt engineering course. It's literally free and it's on their site. Read OpenAI's documentation, then start solving real business problems using prompt chains. Automate something for a small business owner that you know personally, document your process, build a portfolio of 5 to 10 case studies, and that portfolio is your resume. Then apply to AI labs, AI startups, and Fortune 500 AI teams. The opportunity score here is going to be 9.5 out of 10, highest ceiling on the list, exploding field, basically no degree barrier. Okay, so all of those were some of my favorite ones, and the next 5 I'm going to go over very quickly. So one is a patent paralegal. And this one is exploding right now because of the AI boom, which I'll explain in a second. A patent paralegal helps law firms file and defend patents. You handle the paperwork, the filings in the United States Patent and Trademark Office, the documentation, all of it. Boring as hell, right? But it pays really well. And every AI breakthrough creates a patent filing, and every patent filing needs a paralegal. And here's why this is exploding right now. AI is being invented at an absolutely insane pace. Every company building anything AI related is filing patents like crazy, trying to lock in their intellectual property before competitors copy them. And patent filings in the AI space are at an all-time high. And that is why you're seeing salary ranges of $65,000 to $110,000 a year. And senior paralegals at top IP-focused law firms are pushing past $130,000. So yeah, they're making really good money. I'm gonna give this one an 8.5 out of 10 score. Next, you've got the online court transcriptionist. And this is basically one of those jobs where you can literally make 6 figures in your pajamas from a bedroom and never speak to another human being, which for some of you is actually the dream, right? Now, you can make 6 figures here. You don't have to talk to anybody. Welcome welcome to introvert heaven. Now here's what you actually do. You convert recorded legal proceedings, court hearings, depositions, sworn statements, etc. into written transcripts. And the work is sent to you digitally. So you type it up, you send it back, and you get paid per page. The salary range here is $50,000 to $120,000 a year with experience. The top transcriptionists, the ones who are fast and accurate, push past $130,000 because they can crank out more pages per day. But the catch is it takes time to get fast, right? Your first 3 to 6 months will be slow and frustrating, and after that, you start to compound. And speed equals money in this job. So yeah, this one I'm gonna give a 7.5 out of 10 opportunity score. It is recession proof, it does scale with skill, it is fully remote, and it is perfect for introverts. And it's also something that's kind of protected legally. So even if the technology gets good enough to where you don't have to do it, you're still gonna do it, right? It's kind of like how airplanes basically automatically fly themselves at this point, but there's still pilots in the pilot seat. All right, section 7 is the procurement and sourcing specialist. So this is one of those jobs that nobody tells college kids exist, but every single Fortune 500 company in the world has a team of these people working full-time around the clock. And basically you buy stuff for the company, but not like clicking add to cart on Amazon. You negotiate contracts with vendors, you vet suppliers, you make sure the company is getting the best price on everything from office supplies to manufacturing materials to software subscriptions to consulting contracts, right? So you are literally paid to save the company money, which is the easiest thing in the world to justify on a P&L. And companies love these people because you pay for yourself 10 times over. So if you save the company $1 million and they pay you $90,000, that's an incredibly good ROI that they just made for you. Now the salary range here is $60,000 to $110,000 a year. And as you can imagine, this is a pretty freaking boring job, but it's a very necessary job as well. There's a lot of human to human interaction. There's negotiation. You have to form relationships and maintain those relationships. And that's why it's not gonna go away, but it is pretty damn boring. My cousin actually did this job. He was kind of telling me about it and it paid really well, but he hated it after a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one an 8.5 out of 10. All right, job number 8 is the title examiner. And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you about this one. The base pay does not start at 6 figures, but the top end does get there for experienced examiners, right? Especially in the commercial real estate space. And the work is so boring and so consistent that I think it absolutely deserves a spot on this list. Now, what does the title examiner actually do? Well, every time someone buys a house, someone has to research the property's history. They have to make sure there's no liens, no owner disputes, no weird claims on the title, et cetera, et cetera. That's the title examiner. So the work is critical, and without it, real estate transactions don't close. And real estate transactions literally cannot close without title examiners, which means as long as people are buying houses, this job exists. So the salary range here is $55,000 to $95,000 a year. And some specialized commercial title examiners push past $110,000, which is where the 6-figure ceiling lives. So yeah, this one is pretty well known. You know, there is going to be a bit more competition, but it is very well established. Real estate industry is not going anywhere. This is one of those that's protected by the law, super boring, but relatively easy to get into. I'm gonna give this one a 7.5 out of 10. All right, next is the AI voice or image annotator. And this one is borderline 6 figures. And basically same honest warning as the last one. This job usually doesn't hit 6 figures consistently, but it does have the ability to get there, and it has the lowest barrier to entry of probably any job on this entire list. You can literally start tonight if you want. No degree, no certificate, no experience, and it's a real on-ramp to bigger AI jobs later. Now, what is it? Well, you label the data the AI systems use to learn, and you listen to audio clips and you transcribe them, and you look at images and tag what's in them, right? So you train AI how to see different things, right? So you're watching video clips and describing what's happening, for instance, and the AI literally needs humans to teach it. That is the whole job. And the pay range here is typically $20 to $50 per hour, depending on the task and your skill level. And at the higher end, working full-time hours consistently, you can clear 6 figures. It's not guaranteed, but it's possible. And you might be thinking, Shane, is this even a real job? Yes, the companies behind every major AI system that you use, like Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, all of them are paying thousands of remote annotators right now to train their models. So the demand is massive. Now I think of this one more like an entry point to the AI industry, and then you can move on to better AI jobs later on down the line. It's super boring, it's super tedious, but I think it will lead to really good jobs down the line. So I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. All right, there you go. 9 boring online jobs that are always hiring that pay real money. But here's the thing I want you to think about before you go. Every job on this list has a ceiling, even the highest paying one. AI prompt engineer tops out around $180,000 a year, which is great money, don't get me wrong. That's life-changing money for most people, but remember Nicole from earlier, my client with the GRC YouTube channel? She's probably made that in a 2 or 3 month period, just from YouTube alone, and that's on top of her job in the same field. So the real cheat code is to master some sort of skill or get some kind of job or figure out how to make money doing something, right? And then make a YouTube channel about it, right? Teach other people how to land the job. Teach other people how to use AI within that job. Teach other people the skills within the job, teach other people how to use the software in the job, etc., etc. So the boring six-figure job is the floor, but YouTube is the ceiling. And the ceiling is basically infinite. And look, I know what some of you are thinking. Shane, this stuff sounds great, but I'm 50. I'm too old for this. I'm not charismatic. I'm introverted. I'm not extroverted, right? My brother Zach is 50 years old. He had all the same excuses that you have, right? He's in the trades for decades. We're talking physical, hands-on, blue-collar work, right? And he told me that he wanted to make money online because the work was really starting to wear on his body. So I sat him down, we picked a niche, we built a YouTube channel from absolute scratch. And by the way, this is a guy who's genuinely technologically challenged. He struggles with basic computer stuff sometimes. And within months, he was making real AdSense revenue, right? 50 years old, trade background, zero online experience. It worked. And my client, Brian, 59 years old, we helped him pivot into a fully remote digital marketing role. And at 59, he had a career change, real income, real life. So age is not the barrier, right? Your background is not the barrier. How technologically challenged you are is not the barrier. Effort is the barrier. Strategy is the barrier. And most people are not willing to put in either one. So don't be most people. Now, here's what I want you to do. If you want to land one of these boring six-figure jobs and then stack a YouTube channel on top of it, the way Nicole did, for instance, the way that my brother Zach did, and the way Brian did, and the way I did, go ahead and click the link in the description in the pinned comment below to attend my live training. Building your YouTube channel will be the best choice that you've ever made, and it'll make it incredibly easy to get any job you want in the future. Plus, it's a great way to make a side hustle income and even start a full-time business. It only takes a few hours a week. And I'll help you to pick your niche on this live training or dial your niche in if you already have one. We are even giving away a special AI tool that helps you pick the niche. And I'll teach you step-by-step exactly how to start a YouTube channel, and I'll answer any questions you have at the end. Now, for 99% of you, you're just gonna consume my free content, you're gonna enjoy it, you're gonna attend my live trainings, and that's it, right? I'm gonna give you all the value for free, and I'm never gonna ask a single thing from you. But for 1% of you out there that want a hand-holding experience, that want to work directly one-on-one with myself and my team, or you literally just want us to do the work for you like an agency, go ahead and book a call, right? On this call, we'll figure out where you are right now, where you want to be, we'll make a plan to get there, and we'll see if we're a good fit to work together or not to help you grow and monetize your YouTube channel. And we treat YouTube like a business, and those are the types of people we attract. People that are business-minded and want to actually treat YouTube like a business from the beginning, and they don't want to waste 3 years figuring it out on their own. So if that's you, book that call. We look forward to talking with you, but only book it if you're very serious about growing and making money on YouTube. If you want to check out an example of someone that we were able to help, you can check out this video where we talk about exactly how we help Nicole.